Yeah, no, we're good. Thank you for asking. We're just happy to get about with this episode.
Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey.
Christmas time, everyone. I'm really glad that you take the opportunity to tune in and settle down and find your peace. My name is Georg and I'm, as always, your host for the Nomadic Business Insight podcast. And for this Christmas special, we thought about doing something a bit different. And hence for me, it's also kind of a special moment. I truly never imagined the NBI podcast to take off as much as it has done throughout the first year. First of all, I just want to thank all of our friends and family who are sending so much love and good feedback. I know that you find it exciting to listening in, but there's also things that you kind of might find a bit quirky. And I just really, really appreciate all the feedback. And then, of course, everyone else who are sending us messages and questions and sharing the podcast, a big thank you to you. It means a lot. I kicked off this podcast as kind of a small passion project, to be honest. I didn't imagine the episodes to be very long and extensive, but then it just really grew on me very fast. And throughout the months in the summer 2024, we kind of decided to take it even more serious and invite more guest speakers. And from there on, it has really been a roller coaster of one big, beautiful adventure. It is very important for me to just thank everyone who has been involved. Harun and everyone in the production team, amazing job. Everyone who's helped out scheduling and placing episodes, the different venues where we've shot. It means a lot, and I just want to give that thank you out here. And with that, let's move a bit into the episode and Christmas spirit. For me, Christmas has always been a time to reflect and settle down. So I really had to think through who I wanted to make this Christmas special with. And there was one person I had in my mind who has meant a lot for me throughout my time here in Ålesund, at least the times I've been here, actually. And he's also been a person that has followed me in the journey quite a while, and which I had the great opportunities to have conversations and been guided by. And it meant a lot to me when he positively responded to my request of doing a double feature episode with him. So with that, sat down one late night, Saturday in October, to record these 2 episodes. And we tried to make them in sort of a Christmas spirit, reflecting and closing up a year and looking into a new future. But bear with us if it's not completely convincing at all times. We kind of felt in a real Christmas mood there, but probably at some points you can hear it. But anyway, I do think the episode serves its purpose. All right then, guys. Remember that the people and concepts we feature in this podcast by no means have paid for any placements, and they're handpicked by me and the Nomadic Business team ourselves. And the show is not to be seen as any investment advice. It's meant as entertainment purpose only. This is going to be a very exciting episode, that's for sure. The person you're going to meet in this podcast is called Roger D by all his friends. He has a longer name, but it's not really important. And originally, he comes from the Caribbean islands. We're going to dive further into this in the podcast, but he has been living in Norway for quite some years and is a person that has done a lot of different things and run a lot of different projects in the music industry. Some of them big, some of them small, but throughout the years, he has met a whole lot of people and gathered so much experience that I really felt like doing a double episode with him to get to share all this with you. And last but not least, keep in mind that we're doing a double episode here, so it's quite long and extensive material. Feel free to take a rest at any time. I hope you enjoy it. We enjoyed making it, and with that, let's get it started.
You are listening to LD Podcast. Would you like to publish with us? Tell us your story at www.ld.studio/podcasts. Edited and published by LD Studio.
Well, it's an honor to be with you, Lee. Yeah, it's a talk I've been really excited for, and kind of end of year, and end of this first year for me recording this podcast.
I mean, I just discovered that the podcast was actually publishing lately. You know, I was quite excited with the last episode. I like it. I can say that I was quite impressed with some of the things you said. It was very open and direct. I like that. I mean, that's actually what podcast is supposed to be like here.
Thank you. No, but I don't know what to say. I think I just talk with whoever I feel to talk to, and we discuss what we feel is important. So how has this year been for you? What does ending year feel like for you?
Based on what's our business, work, economics, like
Life.
itself. I think this learning. I think I've been learning such more. I've been growing a lot, actually, in the last few months. I think 2 years or something, I just decided to start growing. And I think growing in such a way that with experience, a lot of the experience I've discovered now from before when it comes to just exploring business itself, I decided that growing was not just to learn about the normal economical business. It was about you using the experience in many different ways. That's what I discovered. In the year, I can say, yeah, I've been actually growing a lot with experience, actually.
Thanks for sharing. Growing
I think it's growing a lot.
growing is it's sometimes difficult to recognize if you're actually doing it or feeling it or both or neither of them, you know?
In a way of just letting go of the things that you perceive as growing, in a way of like thinking that having a business is growing, and having the opportunity to do a business or to explore economical balance,
But it can also be a lot of other things.
I mean, experiencing owning a business, that's where I came from, last 5 years now.
Yeah.
And exploring living, like exploring actually growing inside of your business, not only developing the business, but learning how to actually grow inside of something, meaning that you have the value of that thing and you love it, and you kind of grow within inside of it. So you don't only say, okay, I learned to do this. You learn to develop many more things: communication, understanding towards the business, economics, budgeting, all these things, communicating with the socials. So I think it's a lot of growing towards it and learning a lot.
You get a bit tired of it too, to be honest. There's a lot of it all the year. I feel like I'm all about landing this Christmas. Last Christmas as well, and the Christmas before. I'm always about landing. I love it, you know? So it's kind of a time where I just chill a lot, to be honest.
I think that,
But the year for you has been about growing.
yeah.
I feel that too, yeah. I feel that way too, but it's been a very weird journey. I wouldn't imagine myself where I am now 1 year back.
I can't imagine. I did not imagine, first for the experience of, to don't even thinking that I am where I want to be at this moment now. That's something that I never really get carried away with from the start.
Yeah.
I never really think that this is where I want to be here.
Yeah.
This was the start of something for me. And I think as soon as I discovered that we don't have to start where somebody ended, and you think that, oh yeah, I got there. It's just like when I started one business and I got to it, it's like after 2 years, I'm like, I want more. I want so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where you came in as well. When I saw you just developing as well, as I say, you were growing a lot in the beginning, and then I was just sitting back watching these things. And as I say again, I took up into my own stuff and I growed and had my own experience. But as I say again, for me to think that that was just the goal, I would be fooling myself. It was just a start of something. Yeah.
That change, I appreciate that change always a lot. You know me a lot, and I'm always like drifting. And one day I can say something else, another day I can say something. But I think that's the pleasure of it. You know, I choose along the way.
I think everybody have their own ways of finding their space. And I think if some people don't drift, how would you know?
No, I think everyone has drifts in their life, and I think we're not open about them actually so much in society, because it's all about finding that right path, and I think a lot of us are just drifting paths all the time.
I don't look out so much to see where people are going so much. But I notice on the journey of growing, if I need certain things, say I need something to do something, I need access to grow with some inspiration or something, right? It's very hard to find it among this society of people because there's no inspirement inside of it. You have to realize that if you are an inspired person by yourself, like you inspired other people, sometimes you have to look at like, I'm growing and I discover something. Where did you find it? You didn't find it here. You had to look outside. And most people, I think we are looking outside of the wrong way because I didn't look outside of my doors. I look outside of the society culture to enhance myself.
Yeah, I look for a lot of things around in a lot of different cultures. For me, it's always, I think that's why I always want to meet new people and see new places because it's so nice to just be open for impulses.
I mean,
from around. But is Christmas the same in the Caribbean?
Totally not.
Totally not.
No.
But is it about being together?
It's very much being together.
So it is.
Yeah. It's a lot of people coming back. I think it's not only in the Caribbean, but it's in a little bit of a black culture.
Okay.
It's like, but obviously there's different ways, there's so many different cultural roots back to Africa, whether Christmas is that Christmas for them.
Yeah.
So we have to look at whether a lot of black people discover their Christmas during
umbrellas.
Yeah, you see? And then you have the togetherness that comes with it. So for me, the one that I know Christmas is the one like the Western world. Christmas is togetherness. So yeah, gifts and family together. Where do you live? All over the world, you come back home to the family, you cook that great family dinner and everything, just like the Western American ways. And the same thing, as I say again, it's just for me, Christmas is not really based on this side of the planet. It's based on more like an economical thing for me. It's like, can I make business? Christmas is a business time for me. Family time for me, I travel less in the last few years. I think we're quite scattered as a family. We're all adults now and have kids and so.
But you get to see each other. It's a time where you try see if you can get together.
Yes, we visit each other so much. The family comes here sometimes and visit. But for me as a person growing in business and everything, I think Christmas for me is not like that now. It's not like that. It was probably like that in business for the last 4 years.
Again.
In Norway. But not now. I have a lot of other things in life.
Christmas for me is, we always, a lot of skiing, to be honest. I love the mountains, and for me it was always a time to get together with family. We're also not many, it's just my parents, my brother. Sometimes our family from Germany visit, or we go to Germany, but most of the time skiing. It is beautiful. I love to, especially with my dad. It was really nice. He took me a lot out. Yeah, so I'm still continuing. I'm going with my wife. Hopefully taking my daughters. Skiing. That's also why we probably move north. We want to have
North.
Yeah, Norway. Lofoten.
Yes.
Yeah. It's gonna be an exciting adventure.
Because as I say again, Christmas for me in Norway has always been a little bit of family, and a little bit of traveling.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would be.
Have you been into skiing?
Be honest, when I say totally, it was never my thing in the first place. So no, I've never been into that.
But have you tried cross country?
No.
Downhill?
I haven't really got that far. No. I am ashamed to say.
Have you touched snow?
Come on. Like there's other more things in the snow, winter, love it, hunt sometimes. Friends that we do a lot of things in the winter time. And there's a different special time of winter in Norway that I really love. And I think it's really good for many of us to kind of look at it as like everything has the beauty and it's not so harsh weather. I mean, like a lot of people hate winter, but if you can find some good, it's cozy, it's beautiful, you have some of that. It's warm, but when it gets too long, it's too long and it down. Yeah. So sometimes it's not really.
Then you gotta live far enough inside the country that you actually get good snow for a long time.
You get good snow, but you have a good sun base to it as well. Not like some part of the
Sun is coming back. There is brighter tiny inside now, guys. I mean, we're past the half year.
I mean, I'm a stable business person here in Olesen, so I don't get to travel that much before, So maybe your business consists a lot of traveling, but my business is based on a lot of stability and visibility. So I don't see a lot of sun here. So for your case, I don't see it that much. I mean, the weather in Olesen is like
Horrible.
I wouldn't say horrible. Or I wouldn't say horrible because it's the way how you deal with it as well. It could be horrible at certain times because of certain weather. The weather, the weather time it could be really horrible, depressing. I guess that it has its ups and downs in the winter season. Yes, the dark times and yeah.
You're not selling it too well.
Hmm?
You're not selling it too well. But it is hard to sell. It is hard to sell. It is dark.
Yeah.
Very dark. But the people here still get together, though. They do their things. A lot of the people spend a lot of time in fireplace. Cabins and fireplace. Pretty much everyone buys a cabin to sit at the fireplace.
Yeah.
That's a Norwegian thing.
It's a trend. It's a trend.
Are you originally from Gambia?
My originality is from Guyana.
Guyana?
I'm from Guyana, yeah.
All right.
Originally from Guyana.
And then
South America, Guyana. British Guyana.
Okay, so that's up over Brazil?
Yes, over Brazil.
Southern Caribbean island, or?
It's most likely connected a lot with the Eastern Caribbean countries because a lot of people would think it's a part of the Caribbean, but it's actually part of South America.
Oh.
Yeah, it's quite a popular country now. I can brag about it a little bit. Guyana used to be very poor in the early 60s coming up as it becomes independent. You can check up the history and a little more. But now, I think it's last 3 years, it's been one of the richest countries in South America.
Really? So really towards oil?
Oil, yeah. They strike oil. And always been a rich country with gold and diamond, but, exploitation.
Yeah.
So now Guyana is one of the richest. Yes, it has so many oil reserves now and last 3 years. Yes.
That's crazy.
And it's like a little Norway as well.
Oh. Yeah. Do you consider going back?
Nah, it can be like that. I think I'm good here. I think I'm good here. In very early age, my family moved to the Caribbean, to Antigua. In that age, and they migrated there in the early 80s, in the mid 80s. They migrate there. So I kind of grew up in my school days in the Caribbean, actually, in a place called Antigua and Barbuda.
How did it feel like moving island, kind of? What age were you?
I was between 5.
Okay.
To 5, yeah. And
do you remember much?
Yeah, but things that I wouldn't talk about now. No, but nothing bad. Just I remember things, but it's just that we leave that for another part.
Of course.
Of
course. Mobile is really
we can dive into that a little bit more because I do wanted to bring some of these things in. Why for some things that we have in there.
But there's actually one thing I want to speak with you about, and that's kind of work-life balance. Caribbean or Latin even. Have you been a lot in other South America?
Yeah. Not
which countries?
Venezuela.
Oh, that's Latin. That's very good.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't spend enough time in Venezuela to really say that I understand, but for the short period of time, it was a tourism time. This was in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Yes. And I think at that time, this is before Venezuela was kind of suddenly. So I didn't see too much. It was Caracas. It was the main capital. But what I noticed, it was very suppressed country. So I didn't see something of South America that I would want to see to say, okay, yeah, this is a Latino country or something like this. It nothing like that, you know. It was more like another big city that I've never seen, and had a lot of guns and drugs, these kind of situations. So I wouldn't say I discovered South America in a way that
Scandinavian work culture, I don't know if I can explain it actually. I don't know if there is anything very special about Scandinavian culture apart that we really like to start working 8 o'clock and be finished 4 o'clock. It's probably one of the countries that is most like about this. If you don't work offshore or on fishing or shipping vessels, then they don't care. Then the money decides. But the rest of the people, 8 to 4. There is a lot of people working night shift and stuff, but I don't know. Would you dare to have a guess on percentage of people that work 8 to 4 of all the people? Let's say all the people that work in Norway, how many percentage work 8 to 4? I don't know it. I don't know that. I can never guess first too. Okay, pick a number. I'm gonna pick a number too.
I wouldn't.
Pick a number. Do you have a number?
How many people that?
I think 74% of the people work 8 to 4 or 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. Maybe it's a high guess. There's a lot of health people and then night shift and the restaurant. Maybe somewhere around 60.
I would come around the same, like 70%. Yeah, I wouldn't.
There's a lot of people work 8 to 4.
I think it's just the international value of it. And I think with such a high opportunity in Norway for people to work if they want to, I think some people choose to work a lot and some people can have choices, not like, So I think that it's more a very high percentage of people work because it's a trend as well that to work here.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of trend. I'm this age, I have to work to earn my bit. And so I like the idea of like it's a very high trendy working population in Norway.
How about Caribbean? How is the work culture there?
I wouldn't temper it in now because I haven't been living in the Caribbean for quite a few years now, quite a long while. So
I've never been there, so you have to explain work. I think I touched down like 3 days somewhere one time. First time we traveled to South America, I feel like we touched down in Costa Rica. No, I haven't never been in Central America.
Okay.
How is work culture a bit more like Hispanic, like Latin work culture? Like people that take like middays breaks?
I think it's just no. I think it's basically like the West. It's just like American standard.
Okay, what's that?
The 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
The 8 to 4.
8 to 4.
Okay, so lunch at 12 o'clock. The normal British standard of work.
Okay.
And it's just the same as in construction and in service, in hotel business and stuff like that. So I don't see it any different than the Western world,
Do people hang out after all?
Naturally in the Caribbean country, people just love to have fun. People love to be, it's warm-blooded people. So we always have this yearly carnival and that goes on for like in the 2 months holiday in the summer. And you would find people are very open of nature. People love to go to the beaches. People indulge everything.
So do people go, for example, to the beaches right after work for a vlog? People go every day?
Yeah, I mean, that used to be a thing for me as well. As long as I would go to the beach naturally every week. There are some people who go to the beach seasonal. But some people will work at a hotel at the beach, but they don't even want to take a swim, So you find all kind of people. Yeah, you have all kind of people. There are people.
Do you have a lot of people in the Caribbean who are gamers? I'm just asking.
I wouldn't.
I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a higher class of people in Antigua, very rich. I have some people with very more. They learn to.
But I don't think you have to be rich to game.
I think it's not really that you have to be rich, but you have to have the asset and the society that comes with it, And a lot of these kids in certain society, they live in a much more
simple way.
Yeah, simple.
I get what you mean, but they're also
they don't prioritize that for us. They will prioritize certain things for us before these things,
But there are also a lot of cities, and a lot of people living in cities.
Like for instance,
in Caribbean.
Like
middle city, like there's like, I think you wouldn't call them cities even. I can only like kind of visualize capitals.
Yes, yes. Actually, it's like 6 or 7 capitals in Antigua. But in most of the capitals, St. John's is the main capital. But then you will find events just as in St. John's. You will find that events in St. Paul's, which is like English Harbor.
Okay.
That's on a different end of the island. So, and this entertainment is quite international, like Sailing Week, and these things interact with Europe and international sailing, so that culture of tourism, as I say again, why I can say that in tourism field, I've seen it grow. When it comes to business, I can tell you that I've seen things change from one thing to another. So Caribbean has that flow of tourism from.
Would you say it has like a modern United States kind of feel of young people want to work and get that good job in the city?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
You have that in Antigua. But as I say again, you will find low employment rates depending on what field it is, because you have to remember that it's a tourism country. Everything goes up, and it's to be honest, if you really check out the tourism, if you go to, it's more expensive to actually go for vacation, or nearly the same as in Norway. If you go to the Caribbean, if you go to Antigua right now, so it's actually more expensive actually to go there for maybe an American to go to come to Norway.
And just a lot of people going there, a lot of beach culture.
Yeah.
What does it do to the economics of the country when it kind of, do you have very seasonal economics in the country, whole country, or?
I mean, that country's been growing for many years with no stop.
But did it at some type place used to be kind of I don't know how to put it, a country where half of the year it would be more a laid back vibe, where people said, tourist season's coming soon, and now are kind of resting just a bit.
I think it's harvest seasons, but Antigua's been ongoing when it comes to the tourism. It has the Easter season, the Christmas season when the local come back.
Okay, so there's a lot of...
Yes. And then you have the carnival, the summer season. This is when Antiguans plus foreigners plus outsiders, everybody come back for the carnival internationally. And then you have the May season, and this is like the Easter season. Before that was like Sailing Week as at the beginning. So I think the only time in Antigua that is not activities or not full with tourists is maybe like between the months of January and February.
Okay, wow, that's a hectic year.
Yeah, so from the April month, it just started up right up to December.
I feel like Norway is kind of becoming a very tourist season thing where it's almost non-stop, because if you look at Lofoten, for example, some hot spots where we are moving, for example, in the summer seasons, they're just like for 4 months, like pam, 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 pam. But now also the winter season grows because people want to see northern lights and these kind of things. And then it's just like, it's almost no gap anymore. And it's just ongoing. It's maybe October is a bit low, and then March and April, but then they already start coming again.
Yeah. I guess that everyone, as I say again, like how I see Antigua grow as a Caribbean country, go from nothing, from when people used to, things used to be not even half the price, used to be so cheap for things.
Yeah.
The beaches and everything is still up light. And then I remember when I came to Olesen first, there's just certain things you never see here. And as every country grow, I think the same thing was I see new people come, new things changing. So for me, when it comes to Olesen, I think it's going to keep changing in the tourist way anyway. But the prices is what, for things, if it will take away a little bit of the urbanness from this place, I'm not.
A lot of people, I have people coming in, and I go and I talk with them again, and all tell me it felt a bit like a simulation
In Olesen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many like tour people just walking around and looking at it like they're going through a game, checking it out and leaving again.
my perspective on the tourists is just basically, yeah, it's just like everywhere else. But for the tourists to interact with the locals, I don't see it. I don't see that.
Doesn't happen almost. Doesn't
I
happen.
think LD actually is basically one of the main shop that targets a social place that I actually see it.
I appreciate it.
No, I'm trying to think who else does it that opens very much to tourists. Let me see. Otherwise than the main tourist shops that has.
I think Rebellious on the other side of the town and was like a really good job. I'm really inspired of what the guys brought with them. I think Rebellious, they do it really well. Adrian and Emil.
Those people I kind of know from you.
They
come from.
It's a good job what they've done. I really appreciate what they've done on the other side of the city.
Yes, I like it as well because I wasn't too in contact with them because I don't really know their project, but I see in the Facebook that they're being posted on it. You know, I have to say big up to them.
Yeah.
They're big up. I like what they do. And Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian is really talented. Really
talented guy. Love him. Always have such high respect for him because we worked together on a 1 or 2 days project before. And I've never seen a quick mind thinking person like him. So
multi-skill, extremely multi. Yeah.
Yes. Respect to that.
Thing that I talk a lot about in private with people, just happen always to go into this conversation where when people talk about why do they figure out what they want to do or where are they heading, what are they aiming for, and then a lot of them forget that you can actually just let the passion drive you. I feel too many people are more on the side of they want to actively choose something and go there instead of like bit just saying, okay, I'll see where my interest takes me. What do you feel about that? Do you feel because I was thinking about it when we talked about Caribbean. Norway has since the 70s now been a country where it's oil, money, work, jobs, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I think we were a society here at least that are very aimed to go a place.
I never really think about Olesen when it comes to, their morals towards what it is when it comes to entertainment or something. Just say to people, the socialism here. I know it exists, but I never thought of it as something that would inspire me into doing. I always thought that it was the opposite way, that I can at least learn something from them, this culture, because it was mostly rock music when I... Oh, really? It was mostly rock music. A lot of trance music. Trance, yes. Like trance electronics? It was electronics music. It was trance. It was very London in the early 90s.
Rock and trance.
Yeah.
These kind of fisherman pubs and...
Yes.
Oh, really?
So for me, music wasn't really something that I see especially when I came to this region, because I worked with a very... two Swedish guys when they moved here, first time for us to Olesen. And I did a lot of the music work for them by DJing. And when I started it was like mostly bringing the hip hop to a certain level, breaking all the rules. And that place was packed every weekend.
Cool.
So...
That's cool to you. Cool story.
Yeah, so I don't see it.
So it was kind of like a Beatles Street vibe, and
I wouldn't say so.
or more rock hard.
I think they had more of a rock society here early. It was branching off to certain places. Yes, they had a club named Lip. And yes, as I say again, I never ventured there too much, but I think it was more hard dance music. But to a level of, I say again, it wasn't something that I'm very used to. So the difference with Olesen is just that it didn't have a music culture here for me. It just had something that you have to just observe what it is. And
very interesting nightlife in a way, though, that it can be dead for a while, but then suddenly on like a Wednesday or Thursday, it's full because the boats cannot go out and it's too much storm. It's just like, bam.
This is in what season?
I don't think you play a lot on those days. I don't know. But, like in the fall times, especially in the winter times,
yes.
Suddenly it can be like a Wednesday and the whole town is full of people drinking because the boats are in.
Okay. I'm not...
It's a weird nightlife.
Yes, I'm not too familiar with some of the seasonable social life. I travel quite a lot in that season. I'm not...
Understandable, rainy season and... storms.
So what do you think about passion letting drive you?
Thank you for listening to LD Podcast. We are continuously looking for the most talented innovators. No matter your background or expertise, shoot us an email at highfive@ld.studio with your skills and portfolio.